Hello, everyone. It is time once again for my semi-annual. I don't necessarily always buy stuff, but I have the last few years. So in this case, the second year for my GenCon haul. So GenCon was once again back in August, like it normally is. So it was this past weekend as I'm filming this. And uh, it was back to being the size ish that it normally is. So it was a lot of walking, um, covering a lot of ground, doing a lot of things, saying a lot of things, talking to a lot of people, eating a lot of food from the food trucks. Might be a little bit before my pants fit properly again. But that being said, I did end up coming home with a lot of stuff. So I've gotten to the point where I had to write everything down with like the vendors so that I could keep everything straight. Um, so yeah, I guess we'll get into it in no particular order other than I've just got crap all around me. So yeah. We'll start with this year's purchase from Dryad Tea. Of course, I bought from them last year. I haven't even actually finished the stuff I bought from them last year, but that wasn't going to stop me from purchasing from them again, because they had new stuff. So I got uh, three teas. So this is Archangels. And as always, these are their sample size. This is what they give you for a sample. So this is why I have not used up everything that I bought last year, because if you watch last year's video, you know how much I bought. And this for me is like two or three large glasses of tea per packet. So, and I mean, I drink tea semi regularly, and obviously this is sealed shut. So as long as I don't open it, it's going to keep. So yeah, so this is Archangels. Um, this is a uh fruit tea. Um, so there's that. And then this is Fairy Revel. Again, kind of another fruity tea. With this one's with blueberry and then this is another, just like last year. I like fruity teas. So this is another fruity one. This one is Innkeeper's Secret and has strawberry and blood orange. Should be good. And then I got another diffuser. I still have the diffuser I bought last year and I still use it, but this way if I want to have more than one going at once, or if I want to do two servings, to make something extra strong flavor wise, um I've now got two diffusers. So I got obviously their diffuser, which is really nice because it opens up really well, really easy to clean out. And then, of course, to keep it in place, to weigh it down, this is the fancy stone that I got. So it's not necessarily showing on the camera. It's not as muddy as it's showing on the camera. It's actually a nice colors of tan and brown with a little bit of like blue in there, and then some gray, shades of gray. So that's coming off muddier on the camera, but it's a nice color. It's a nice blend of colors in real life. So that was Dryad Tea. And of course, I will try to put links to any of these vendors as possible. Frederick's Engravings, of course, I got this ring last year, but I went and got a paint touch up. So really quick and easy for them to do. And completely no cost. It's included the cost of the original purchase of the ring. So as long as I have the ring, if I come across them, not at GenCon, but anywhere, any convention, and it needs a touch up, they're happy to do that. Or, even if I want to change the color, they will do that too. But I just kept it with the white because I like the white. So, but yeah. And then the ring itself it's got a few dings and, a little bit of wear, but it actually looks practically brand new. And I wear this almost every single day. So I cannot say enough about the quality of this particular ring. So a little bit of just kind of fun giveaway stuff that I got for, because they're vendors. You stop by and you listen to their spiel about their game or whatever. And sometimes they'll be like, here, take this, not just a business card, but they'll be like, here, take a sticker, have a bookmark or whatever. So in this case, XYZ Game Labs, which I actually did an interview with them on behalf of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast, which working on all the audio I got now. So hopefully that will be up eventually. But they had two booths. They had one in the vendor hall, and then they had one in the big hall that's like halls B through like whatever, where you have like your Magic the Gathering tournaments and your Pokemon tournaments and like your miniature type games. But they were showing off their new game, Bigfoot Bigfoot Racer, and the actual Bigfoot was there, like the monster truck, the OG Bigfoot was there on display, and they were showing off their game. But the game wasn't for purchase yet because they're still doing testing, play testing. So they were taking pre-orders, but in the process, they were trying whether they could spit it and won all sorts of things. In this case, I got some temporary tattoos, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with these. I may give them to like my cousins. Um, so the boys, or maybe I'll give them to Chauncey and he can give them to his friends. That they were all fans of Bigfoot when they were kids. I don't know, but yeah. So you got Bigfoot, you've got Snakebite, you've got Bigfoot again. You've got Miss Bigfoot, Bigfoot 5. So, yeah, that's cool. And then they were also promoting their expansion to their game, Arch Revels, which is essentially a knitting game. But they there's going to be a campaign on backer kit. So there's that. But the magic socks, that's the expansion. So there's that. But they gave me these are actually from last year, but they had a few left, and they said I could have one. Is one of the characters is a little octopus. So it's really cute. Well, this is my flail. Another booth that I stopped by and checked out their game is this game called Haunt Your House. And it's a tabletop game that works alongside this app that you use on your smartphone or tablet. So it involves AR, augmented reality. So when you put your device or whatever, well, use the app, the board game, stuff happens on your actual physical board game. So I thought that was really cool. But they're going to be on Kickstarter, so you can check that out. But I got some stickers that I put somewhere. I don't remember. Oh, there we go. Got some stickers. I'm not entirely sure where I'm going to put it. I have options. But these are some of the characters that are in the game. So obviously, classic kind of spooky monsters. So we got Grins the Ghost and Sir Harry Chestershire and Slim Grim. So again, not sure what I'm gonna do with those, but I put stickers on all sorts of crap. So I've got options. Okay, another pin that I bought was from a gal called Jennifer Brozek. Whoops, as I throw crap all over the place and not in a cool way. Not like that Sarah Scribbles cartoon where she's walking in to the store with the fur coat on and just throws money everywhere. Not cool like that. So I had Jennifer's business card somewhere. What did I do with it? I've got so many business cards I picked up. It's not even funny. Because I got to the point where I got to Sunday and I was just so tired. Everything hurt. And oh, there it is. And um I was like, I really wanted to talk to some people in like the artist and author alley. I was just so tired. It was like, if I stop and or sit down, I'm never moving again. So I just walked up and down. I was like, you have a business card? Great. I will be in touch. In some places they were completely on business cards, so they were like, here, my socials, take a picture. I was like, perfect. I will take a picture of your post-it note. That works too. So, but anyway, this was the at least the booth that I made this purchase from. Although I think she said that she was actually selling these pins on behalf of a friend of hers that wasn't able to come. So I guess if you really want this pin, I guess still contact her and see if you can get in touch with the person that actually has them. I don't know. Anyway, it is this pin right here. But obviously, if you know Good Omens, especially the adaptation they did on Amazon a few years ago, they got Aziraphale Crowley at the very end of the last episode where they're toasting each other to a job well done, avoiding the apocalypse, and it's two worlds. So, I love Good Omens. I'm working on a Aziraphale cosplay that I might get done by the time season 2 comes out. Okay. Rolla Crit, who is now the official manufacturer and seller of GenCon's merchandise, along with Catan. Um, and I bought this t-shirt, which is actually from last year, but they still had some left. Because I didn't necessarily want something that was dated with this year's con. Um, so Hoosier GM. Because this is Indiana, so we're Hoosiers. So if it's oh my god, it's so soft. So soft. I also interviewed um one of their uh higher ups, one of the founders of the company, Erica, and we had a nice talk. Again, audio coming soon. And one of Roll of Crits main things is offering gaming related merch, t-shirts and hats and stuff that are really high quality, stuff that's going to last you a long time. And this is a really nice shirt. So super super soft, I love it. I've already actually worn it once. So it's like, oh, I got a new shirt, need to wear it as soon as possible. So yeah, you can check out their stuff online. Again, I'll have links to as much stuff as possible in the little description box. And let's see here. Ooh. And unbeknownst to me going into it, that I would be leaving with corgi related merchandise because of things that I really love. I am corgi trash. Hello. Have you seen my new tattoo? Follow me on social media. You know I got this like the weekend after PopCon. So the shirt I'm wearing, which was a gift from my mother several years ago. So yeah, I see something with corgis on it, and I'm like, yeah, I kind of have to buy it. So of course, t-shirts. So this guy had several designs, corgi related designs, but this one was like, being a child of the 90s. Um, this is I had two. Look at that. It's a corgi on a skateboard. It says fresh loaf. It's got the little toe beans. It's got the booty. It's got a little stubby tail. I can't. It's so cute. I love it. And again, super nice, super soft t-shirt. So love it. But this guy is his name's Sam Logan, and he does a comic strip called Sam and Fuzzy, among other things. And he's also done work on like Invader Zim, I think that's what his profile said. And then he has a book that had been on Kickstarter called Vote Dog. He's a good boy, which has corgi among other breeds in it. So you can go check that out. Again, links will be in the description box. But fresh love, I love it. Oh, and of course, I managed to find at least two artists in Artist Alley that have used corgis. In this case, this artist, her name is Andrea Raddick. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. She was one of the ones that was out of business cards, so I just took a picture. But look, oh look, corgi. Like, I don't know my D&D classes that well, but I think that would be a paladin. I think with armor and the big sharp thing in the thing and all that. So someone correct me if I'm getting the class wrong, but just I looked at it and it did just the word paladin came to mind. So that's what I'm calling it. But either way, it's really cool. It's a corgi. Yeah, I love it. So badass corgi. So she signed it there in the corner. That's cool. So obviously, I need to get a frame for that. And then this one is by an artist named Lauren Brown, and it's the Pixie Cavalry. Says anyone who thinks corgis are cute has never had to face down the Pixie Cavalry. It's like happy corgi, badass corgi. So I forget which game she said this is from, but this is an actual card from an actual game. But I can't remember which game she said this is from. And of course, she signed it right there. So I need to get framed and find space on the walls somewhere for it to go. But if you know the kind of folklore with the Welsh corgi, is that they were back in the day were essentially the transportation for fairies. So fairies would ride the backs of corgis. So it's very appropriate and sticks to the legend. So, but yeah, it was like I gotta have it. It's like I will take that one, please. Okay. Just to okay. One last thing that I paid for out of my own pocket was that Funko Games. I love. They're amazing. Funko Games. They're awesome. They have now released a Goofy movie or game. And in celebration of that, they had Bill Farmer and Jason Marsden at GenCon on Saturday and Sunday um, to sign autographs, take photos, that sort of thing. They had a special ticketed event too that unfortunately by the time I realized that I could fit it into my schedule, it had sold out because that would have been cool because they were going to have like a smaller VIP signing, and then they were going to show the film, which that would have been really cool to be with a bunch of people singing Powerline. But whatever. So I had to deal with the Gen Con crowds and go meet them at the Funko booth in the vendor hall, which ended up not being that big a deal as far as line size or whatever. So I got a copy of the the movie poster, and Bill signed it here. So it says Rachel, best wishes from your pal Bill Farmer, aka Goofy, and then Jason signed for Rachel, stay goofy, your pal Max, Jason Marsden. So and then I got a photo with him too. Actually, I have several photos with him because the guy helping man the booth was all like, "Do you want me to take the picture, or do you want to take the picture?" And I was like, "I have no selfie game whatsoever. I'm awful at taking selfies." And Jason was like, "I'll do it." So I just handed Jason my phone, and he just started snapping away even before I was standing there with them. So if you go on the Five-ish Fangirls Instagram, you will see the series of photos that Jason ended up taking while he was holding my phone. So crazy man. Um, so, but it was lots of fun. That was really cool because Bill Farmer, obviously, he has been the voice of Goofy for a long time. Is quite regular on the convention circuits. Um, he's right up there with like a lot of the other voiceover artists that you tend to see at conventions. We had Maurice LaMarche at PopCon last year. Um, a lot of anime voiceover artists and stuff. Jason, not so much, and you don't normally see them together unless it's a Disney specific event where they're like, oh, let's get Goofy and Max together. So the opportunity to get them both together at the same time, and get their autographs and a photo with them together was really cool. So yeah, so that was pretty fun. Um, so that is everything that I either paid for out of my own pocket and or was just stuff that really kind of anybody could get if they just went to the booth and be, talk to people, and in return they'll be like, hey, take these stickers or take these temporary tattoos or whatever, stuff that they like to hand out to people to kind of, so when people get home and see it, they'll be like, oh yeah, that was that company. Oh, I should look up and see if I can order that game or whatever, or back that Kickstarter, or that sort of thing. So it's a marketing technique that helps keep brands in people's minds, because we tend to be very out of sight, out of mind. So if you have this thing that you're looking at later, it'll be like memory, and you're more likely to potentially become a customer or whatever of whatever that brand is trying to sell to the public. So that being said, I do have stuff that I did not pay for. Well, let me do this one first, from eBay. Because this is again something anybody could have got on the vendor floor, because all you needed to do was have an eBay account and follow them on Instagram, and then eBay was like, here you go, have a free game. So yeah, this is not anything like super exclusive. Obviously it's GenCon exclusive, but I could go unfollow them now, and they're not going to like show up at my doorstep and be like, give us back the game. So yeah, they give out this game, which might be for purchase at some point in the future, but right now this is just the version they were giving out that is for promotional purpose only, not for resale. So, which is kind of funny when you're talking about a game that's about selling stuff on eBay. So, but obviously we haven't opened it yet because we haven't had time to actually play anything since Gen Con ended. But that should be fun. But along with the game, I also got this pin, which obviously kind of appropriate. You got a dragon, kind of looks like Genevieve, the Gen Con mascot, red, or could be Smaug, who knows, with its horde of goodies. In this case it's like gold, but then there's some dye in there and some cards that maybe could be like Magic the Gathering cards or the like. And this was actually part of the Gen Con Pin Bazaar, which is a program that they've had going on for I don't know how many years now, but they have a number of pins that you can only get from certain vendors, and if you get them all, then you can go to a designated location and there's like a final pin that you can get. And then some of the pins you can just purchase straight from the vendor. Some of them are gift with purchase. So in this case, the eBay one, it was gift with purchase. In this case, following them on Instagram. So that came with the game, and I didn't realize what this was until I got home. I thought maybe it was just a really fancy business card. No, it's a gift card for an unknown amount until I was able to go online and punch in the number, and it ended up being for $10. So free $10 to spend on eBay. In my case, I'm sure they're probably ranging from, I don't know, $5-10 probably up to who knows how much. I don't remember seeing anything saying, hey, get a free eBay gift card that can be worth up to X amount of dollars. So I have no idea, but hey, $10 is $10 and I've already spent it. So waste not, want not. Okay, so and I'm assuming that everybody was getting this along with the pin, along with the board game, as long as you fulfilled the requirements that eBay put forth in their booth. All right, last but certainly not least is free stuff, comp, whatever you want to call it, items that I got as a member of the press. I have been very, very fortunate to attend eBay. I've got the card right here. I'm staring at GenCon for the past 4, 5 years. It's hard to keep track with the pandemic and everything. However many years it's been. As a member of the press because of doing the podcast, the Five Fangirls, and now Gold Standard, the Oscars podcast. So, obviously going into it is, I'm still figuring out the whole Gen Con experience just as a fan. Obviously, if you listen to my recaps, especially from the first couple of years I was attending, I had no idea what I was doing, and I was burning the candle at both ends, trying to do everything and talk to everybody and do all the things. So having to learn from unfortunate experience that you can't do everything at Gen Con. Unfortunately, you have to pick and choose your battles essentially. But going as a member of the press, which again I'm very, very grateful for, because I know badges to attend Gen Con are not cheap, so I'm already getting a heck of a deal by getting to attend essentially for free. But I obviously Gen Con has my information related to the podcast. So I get a lot of emails from the different gaming companies all year round, but especially going into Gen Con, I will get more frequent emails saying, hey, we're going to be at Gen Con. This is our booth number or whatever. These are the games we're bringing. In some cases, it's just stop by if you want to check them out. In some cases, contact so-and-so if you want to do a demo, so we can reserve a slot for you. In some cases, it's like, go ahead and reserve a slot. It just depends on the company. So again, I got to pick and choose what I want to fit in my schedule, because, I want to try to get at least a decent smattering of different Gen Con experiences. So, you could spend 4 days just in the vendor hall just doing demos at all the different booths. You could spend all 4 days never going into the vendor hall because you're doing stuff in other locations, like you're doing Magic the Gathering tournament, or playing D&D, or doing True Dungeon or stuff like that. You could be part of the writer's symposium. You could be part of the film festival. So there's all sorts of things that could easily fill up your schedule with just kind of one type of thing. Um, but yeah, as I'm getting more and more comfortable with the gaming community and things, obviously, I want to try to broaden my horizons at least a little bit and try new things. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do and yeah, obviously I need to think about our show, the podcast, the five fangirls, and what our listeners may want to hear about. So I picked uh, certain vendors with the certain games, either certain IPs or whatever, that I thought our listeners might be interested in hearing about. And um, so I was like, okay, I'm going to do all my interviews on Friday, if I can. And that way I can just knock those out and then I don't have to worry about like, okay, if I'm doing a game, if it runs over, I don't want it to run over and then be late for an interview because that's just rude. Um, so, or vice versa. So I scheduled all my interviews for one day and then did like all my gaming and stuff on another, and then left a day for me to do the vendor hall. So like I said, I did XYZ Game Labs to learn about the Bigfoot game. I talked to Erica from Roller Crits. So I did, that was fun. I talked to um, Rob from Cyanide and Happiness, who is the creator of Joking Hazard, among other things, and talked about their new game, Master Dater. Uh, and got to play that. So that was fun. But then my last interview was with Funko. So Funko Games. Um, and obviously, I've talked to Funko before, since their first year that they were there. Funko Games, as we know, it has only been around for 3, 4 years, something like that. So right before the pandemic, or like the year before the pandemic or whatever. Um, Now there's been a company that's been releasing games for quite a while, which I'm totally blanking on the name of it at the moment. Um, but under the Funko Games name, that's only been for the last few years. And obviously, I've played the actual Funko game that uses the Funko figures as a board game. We gave away the Golden Girls expansion several years ago as a giveaway. So that was fun. I played the Marvel version last year, so that was a lot of fun. So of course, needed to talk to Funko again this year to talk about what they've got new because they're releasing stuff seemingly all of the time. In fact, while at GenCon, they announced a new release that's coming in the near future, the Squid Game version of the Funko like a universe game. So the Funko Verse game has so many IPs attached to it. They now have like the Universal Classic Monsters, like I said, Golden Girls, there's Harry Potter, there's Marvel, they're now doing Squid Game. And then they've got other games that aren't necessarily the Funkoverse games, but still very recognizable IPs. Like I said, they had Bill Farmer and Jason Marsden there to help promote the Goofy movie game. So anyway, so Funko was my last interview for the day. Went to the one of the smaller, like not ballrooms, but they have like these suites that are right across the hall from the vendor hall, that you would use for like if you're having like a different type of conference that they probably use for like breakout sessions, for smaller groups of people, I guess. So Fungo was using one of those rooms that they've used before. And then they had a booth in the vendor hall. So because they have so much stuff that it's just easier to do it that way. So I went to the suite and talked to Adam, who is their marketing manager. Really super nice guy. He had a handful of some of the new stuff already on the table, already opened for me to look at and touch and feel and stuff, which is really cool because you never know. Just buy a box sometimes you actually want to see the contents and get a feel for it. But yeah, he was telling me again, like, have a recording, working on editing and all that stuff. So again, hopefully out soon. But the Yeah, we had a nice little chat, talking about what I've played before, and the stuff I know, stuff I don't know, the different IPs, just what it's kind of like at Funko Games, and far as them um, making and releasing some very recognizable stuff that's like hot right now. So obviously like Squid Games, that's a very hot property right now. Um but then, maybe some more, maybe random, or maybe stuff that you may not necessarily think of maybe turning into a board game. Like they've got ET or the Goonies, So they released a Rocketeer game last year that I ended up picking up a copy from on behalf of my brother because he wasn't able to go. So stuff like that. So it's just, I think it's really cool that because I myself personally, because I'm still new to gaming, especially tabletop, um, outside of your more classic family games like Monopoly or Sorry or Trivial Pursuit or whatever. I'm still very new to uh, the types of games that you would see at something like GenCon. We've got a version Ticket to Ride that Chauncey had brought into the marriage, and he taught me how to play. So I've played that a few times. So that sort of thing. So I don't know necessarily, like, some people are like, oh, this is a world building game, or some people are like, oh, this is a programming game. Like the Bigfoot game is a part programming, part strategy game. I kind of know what that means. But at the end of the day, I don't necessarily have a preference. Like some people are like, oh, I really like collaborative games, or I really like working by myself against other people. That sort of thing. For me, it's a combination of, especially walking the vendor hall, sometimes it's art catches my eye. Like, ooh, what's that? And I will stop and look. But for me, if it's a recognizable IP, I'm definitely more likely to stop. So, like, if I see something that's like Marvel, I'm definitely more likely to stop. Or like, there's like the Doctor Who RPG role playing game. They had the latest version at I think it's level 7. They had the newest with the current Doctor, Jodie Whittaker's Doctor book available, and I'm like, oh, I see the TARDIS, I see the Doctor, I have to stop. Even if I'm not necessarily gonna buy it, I'm definitely more likely to stop. There's now Power Rangers RPG. So since Funko has the license for so much stuff, I'm definitely drawn to way more of what they have, because and I'm more likely to maybe give it a shot if it's in a universe or with characters I recognize. Um, so hopefully that makes sense. I've talked to some other people and they're like, yeah, that totally makes sense. Um, that's just kind of the way that my brain works as far as marketing goes. I don't know. That's just the way I'm wired. So anyway, TLDR. Uh, had a really great chat with Adam, the marketing manager for Funko, and I will, say this up front. I This was not me. He totally offered, and I, was like, yeah, sure. So he offered me copies of games to bring home and try, and probably do reviews of some sort with the podcast, either, I don't know, it's a video or blog post or something. It just kind of depends, I think, on the best way to document, I guess. um but anyway, so he offered me copies of games, and I was like, sure. So I did not pay for these out of my own pocket. These were given to me by Funko, on behalf of Funko. He did let me choose some of them, but he and another Funko employee just really chose for me based on what I said I know I do kind of like, as far as gaming styles. He's like, do you want a cooperative game? And I'm like, no, I'm not really. Other than D&D, I don't tend to care for cooperative gaming. Most of the people that I tend to play with, we are competitive against each other. We like to beat each other's butts. So somebody at the end is king of the mountain, figuratively and sometimes literally. So he's like, okay, no cooperative games. So but yeah, for the most part, I just let him and the other Funko employees choose what they thought I might like. um so um I ended up walking out with 6 games. So they were really, really generous. They did not have to do this at all. But they did, and I'm so, so grateful. And I know this is not the case for everybody. Not every company is going to do this for members of the press, anybody that they think might help them market. But for whatever reason, Funko was feeling very generous the day that I talked to them, and it was one of those situations where, like, okay, and I'm sure they might have given me more if I'd had maybe someone else to help carry stuff for me. So this is just what I got because this is what I was capable of carrying. Um, so that being said, I still don't know if I'm going to keep all of these. I have reached out. I have asked my fellow co-hosts, Chrissy, Brittany, and Holly, if they would like any of them. And I'm going to see what it's going to take to ship whatever they want to them, if they decide to be like, yeah, I'll try that one, except for two I want to keep. I definitely want to keep. The rest of them, I told them, I was like, if you want one of these, let me know. I will see about having it shipped to you. So I'm not necessarily keeping all of these for myself. So when reviews go up, they might not necessarily all be from me. So we'll see, but I have to figure out what's the most economic way to ship these, because obviously board games, these are kind of heavy. So it could get very costly very quickly. So anyway, bag number one. At least I was evenly distributed between my two arms. So bag number one. And this one contains, this is Disney Happiest Day Magic Kingdom Park Edition. And this is for ages 5 and up, 2 to 6 players. And this is the back, so you can read the description there. So that's kind of cool. I'm sure if you're familiar with the Magic Kingdom Park, it probably will make more sense. So if you haven't been to this particular theme park, like if you've only been to Disneyland, obviously it's going to be a little different, but you probably still get the gist. But if you've never been to a Disney park, might still be fun, but some of the details might get lost on you as far as like the geography and stuff. So, but it's very, very cute as far as the artwork is concerned. Um, Here's a earworm for you all. So sorry, not really. It's a small world after all. So this is a game for ages 4 and up, 2 to 6 players. One of my friends, fellow Disney fanatic, Sarah, said that this game is actually lots of fun, so she has played it, so that's good. And then here's the back. It is the happiest cruise that has ever sailed. So it looks like kind of maybe a matching I Spy type thing. So but we'll see. We shall see. Again, none of this stuff has been opened yet. So there's that one. And then the last one in this bag is the Haunted Mansion Call of the Spirits Magic Kingdom Park Edition. Again, if you know your Disney parks, you know that the Disneyland version is different than the Magic Kingdom version. Magic Kingdom version is in Liberty Square, and the Disneyland version is in New Orleans Square. So and then the international parks, it's even more different. So but this is for ages 8 and up, 2 to 6 players. And it's got the little sticker there because Disney World is celebrating its 50th anniversary this year. Here's the back. We've got the hitchhiking ghosts that glow in the dark, which is so cool. Look at Madame Leota. And one of the the paintings from the stretching room, one of the singing busts. So this is I love the Haunted Mansion. It's one of my favorite attractions of all time. So that's very cool. And then other bag, just as full. We've got the Wild Wilderness. You wear hats or glasses, best remove them. So this is for ages 9 and up, 2 to 4 players. Again, it's got the 50th anniversary sticker on there. You've got the kind of the mine cars. You've got the mountain and stuff. Put the goat in there. Is the goat in there? I don't see the goat. I see the dinosaur head. I don't see the goat. It's hard to tell. Maybe the goat's in there. If y'all know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. But here's the wildest game in the wilderness. So this is again classic Disney attraction. So those are the 4 that I've left up to my co-hosts if they want any of those. And if they don't, I'll keep everything and I'll just play and review them on myself, I guess. So I need to start having people over. But this is one of the games that I definitely am going to keep for myself, and one of the ones that I actually got to have you already had unboxed, so I could see, play, touch, and feel the pieces parts. This game is beautiful as far as the artwork is concerned. The Prospero Hall, that's the company. But this is based on the Alfred Hitchcock movie Rear Window. So this is for ages 13 and up, because obviously we're talking murder, 3 to 5 players. But look, you've got Grace Kelly and Jimmy Stewart there, and you've got the guy that may or may not have killed his wife. But one person essentially plays as Hitchcock, as the director, and then everyone else plays kind of a detective type role, kind of, pretending they're kind of in Jimmy Stewart's situation, and you need to figure out who belongs where and if a murder actually even happened. So just, depending on what Hitchcock decides to set up, there may not have been an actual murder at all. You may have just been imagining things. Or maybe a murder did happen. In that case, you need to figure out who did it. So it's really cool. And like I said, this game is absolutely gorgeous. So when I will definitely probably need to do at least a little bit of video when reviewing this one to show it off, because pictures are probably not going to do it justice, and video slightly better justice, probably still not going to do it justice. But the game is so beautiful, and I like the movie Rear Window. So I mean, it's not North by Northwest, that's my favorite Hitchcock movie, but this is still a really good movie. So I think it's really cool that they figured out a way to gamify this, and the fact that it's replayable depending on who you're playing with, because obviously people are going to interpret clues differently, and whoever's playing Hitchcock gets to be the mastermind, the puppet master, essentially. So so this is really cool. Definitely keeping this one. And then of course, a Goofy movie. Look, you got Goofy and Max and Powerline right there. So you got a Goofy movie game, ages 7 and up, 2 to 4 players. So essentially, you are playing as Max and his friends, and trying to get across the country to see Powerline in concert. And along the way, you are trying to collect memories for kind of your scrapbook, but you also want to try to get to the Powerline concert as quickly as possible to get really good seats. So it's a combination of points you get for making memories and what seats you end up at the Powerline concert. So, but you've got obviously Powerline himself, Goofy, and Max and his friends going across the United States. So, Goofy movie. So cool. I love it. So, and I just saw today Disney announced that at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, which is the Halloween party that takes place in the Magic Kingdom in Florida, they're going to have Max, everything's backwards, Max dressed as Powerline as a character meet and greet at the Halloween party. That is so cool. I kind of wish I could go. Right, somebody sent me to Florida just for a Halloween party so I can meet Max in the Powerline costume, because that's so cool. Did I mention I have both the Powerline songs on my phone? I listen to them on repeat quite a bit. Eye to Eye and Brain Fart, the other movie. Notice Me. The song that Max lip syncs to. So yep. So that one I'm keeping too. And then as a kind of a little bonus, I got the pin, the matching pin. Again, part of the pin bazaar. Got power line. It's all covered in glitter. No. Oh, I would go to the Halloween party and just have this pin pinned to me, and then I see Max, I'd be like, Max, look, I like power line too. Anyway, that is my Gen Con haul, if you want to call it that. A combination of stuff that I paid for out of my own pocket, stuff that anybody could have gotten, did, if you stopped at the same booths as I did, and then obviously the overly generous amount of essentially review stuff that I got from Funko Games. Again, I cannot thank them enough for being so generous. And hopefully, as soon as I can get people to come over and have game night or two or 12. I mean, because some of these games, if I do end up keeping them, like the It's a Small World and the Happiest Day, like the game play on those is supposed to be less than a half an hour. So obviously we could play multiple games in one evening if we only wanted to play one game once or twice. But if we end up liking a game and want to play multiple times, we're gonna need to do this over multiple nights, which darn, I have to hang out with people I like and play board games. Whoa, is me. The only thing is, I wish I could hang out with my fellow podcasters and play some of these. It'd be so nice if I could get together the fangirls, especially, and do the Disney ones. I sent a message to Nick and Zan, my co-hosts from Gold Standard, and I was like, I really wish I could play Rear Window with you guys, but it's in person, but it's not possible. I mean, Zan possibly, because she's in Ohio, so she and I could team up together maybe at some point and play with our respective husbands. But obviously, Nick is all the way in Italy, so that's hard. So I guess whenever Nick gets to come over here, hopefully we can squeeze in some time to play some games. Um, so, but I do have friends that are local that would be willing to come over and hang out. We'll have snacks, a bunch of snacks and drinks, throw on cheesy 80s movies on in the background for background noise, or maybe the 80s playlist on Spotify or something, and just have an evening of it. So who knows what's going to happen. So right now I need to finish recovering from Gen Con. I'm still very tired. So thankfully the blisters I started to develop on my feet seem to have gone away and not getting worse. So that's a big win. We will call that a big win right there. So yeah, like I said, I will try to put links to as much stuff as possible in the description. And I guess if you decide to purchase any of these, please, if you think about them, let them know that the Five-ish Fangirls sent them your way, sent you their way. God, I'm so tired still. The fact that I had to go right back to work and I've been working. Oh my goodness. Oh, Gen Con, why do I let you do this to me? Because it's fun. Because I get to do things like try a LARP for the first time and eat from food trucks, eat stuff that I normally wouldn't eat off of food trucks, and meet people that I would normally get to meet because they're not local, because Gen Con brings in a lot of people, not only across the US, but internationally. So I've met some really cool people. I got a lot of business cards of people I need to follow up with. Oh my goodness. But yeah, Gen Con 2022. Gen Con turns 55. This was the 55th Gen Con, or at least the 55th anniversary of Gen Con. And it's in the bag. Or in this case, bags. As former guest Jacob the Carpetbagger would say. Guest on podcast. So yeah. If you got any questions, please hit me up. I will do my best, and I will catch you all in the feeds, whether that's podcast, YouTube, whatever, wherever you're subscribed. It's awesome. It's all good. I'll see you on the interwebs, folks. Later.